Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor. We are back with another 7.3 itemless path. So this is going to be 7.3.5 path B, which is the polka dot power stun vulnerability path. Our team is rank 3 Diablo, rank 3 Doom, rank 3 Ghost, rank 5 Ghost, and rank 5 White Magneto. Now, the nodes on this path, there's polka dot power and stun vulnerability is the two main ones, and then there's also rise to power, which means that after you knock them down, you're going to get power if they hit into your block or hit you. And then there's also, I didn't check what that first node was called, but whenever you put a non-damaging debuff on the opponent, they actually become passively unblockable. So you cannot nullify that with Doom. So what I'm going to do for the three cosmics on this path, because there is Silver Surfer, Airwalker, and Medusa, is I am going to just use Doom for those fights. And no, if you're wondering, you cannot bring Mr. Fantastic, because the armor break is a non-damaging debuff. So that trigger unblock. But here the only trigger unblockable is by parries, so I'm trying not to. There I land a nice intercept. Also, I have the guaranteed crit synergy with me with Diablo. Diablo does not have a single fight on this path. He's literally a single champion. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. This fight goes really well. I prefer to bait Silver Surfer's L2. When he was around for the first, I think it was the first year of the Summoner Showdown, and everyone was doing the attempts with Medusa, I did it so much that I got used to baiting his L2, but obviously it's faster, so you wanted to bait it in that challenge. There I whiffed a heavy attack, and then here he's dead, so I'm just going to push him off the combo. But yeah, I had no idea how to fully evade his L2 if you're close before then, but I did it so much in that challenge doing attempts that I got comfortable with it, and I actually prefer it to his L1 now. So now this is the ghosting. So I'm going to ghost 3 of the fights, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a White Magneto pre-fight to take advantage of the stun vulnerability without making him unblockable. And basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be parrying quite often, like phase parrying, because my attacks will obviously be doing much more damage. See there, it's 7k versus 13.8. 17 there. I don't have any of the synergies with me, and I did choose to go with both ghosts because it's literally useless to have Wasp here, because you want to throw your special attacks while they're stunned anyways, so there's no reason for them to be unblockable. And then here, unfortunately, he throws another one at the wrong time, so I do take a lot of block damage, but that's fine. I am going to eat another full combo of hits, and of course he's got inflict armor break on the last hit, which is incredible. And then here I am going to get my phase in time, so we are fine. If he'd thrown that L1 there, that would be no problem. I throw my L1, thought it would have killed him, left him at 2%, so here I'm just going to get L1, and he's dead. So I did lose a lot of health on my Ghost, but that was the toughest of the 3 fights that I'm using Ghost for, so I'm not actually angry at all. And now we're going to go up to Airwalker. So in this fight, I know that because of polka dot power, I'm really not going to be gaining much power with Doom, because that shock is barely on, because what I'm doing with Doom is I'm taking advantage of the stun vulnerability and the guaranteed crits, because during my passive stuns I have guaranteed crits, which is very helpful. And then here I'm trying to bait L2, and he's not really being nice with it. But here he's going to throw it, so I'm going to bring it back. And yeah, against Airwalker, I always prefer to bait L2. You can counter the L1, I just don't love it, because I get caught on the dash back quite often. And then there, you can actually see the difference between one of the crits will be stunned and the regular crits with heavies. And it does double the damage, which is pretty significant. So it's like 43k versus, I don't know, otherwise. But yeah, here I am going to get my 10th Dark Tide, and Dr. Doom is actually armor breaking, which means that he will not take the damage from it, but he will get reduced block proficiency. But that fight actually healed up my Doom to full health, so I have to be pretty bad to die to him, or to die to Medusa with Doom. especially a rank 4 doom. So now that this is another ghost fight, we're going to use a white mags here. I absolutely in no way need a white mags pre-fight for the boss because I'm going to be taking Cable, which is the easiest boss. I'm going to turn my microphone down just a little bit. Hopefully that's a little better. Or actually, no. Sorry. There. There. I just don't want it to be too loud. But yeah, Longshot's a little easier than Spider-Man. Unfortunately, I eat that L1, and I think I'm going to eat one more L1, or maybe I'm thinking of another fight. But my 6-star Ghost, the SIG ability is not as high as my 5-star Ghost, so you're going to notice quite a significant difference, because I am going to use my 5-star Ghost for the last fight on this path, which is Yellow Jacket. And the reason I use her instead of this Ghost is because I do not want anyone to die, because if they do, I can't swap them out on the boss island. So I'm just going to leave this Ghost at low health and swap her out for Synergy Champion. I believe I go with Mr. Fantastic on this path, and that works really well. So Longshot is going down pretty quickly, and on this path I should mention my mastery setup. So this is the same mastery setup that I used in Last War, which I have not posted. I don't know if I'm going to post it. But I had a really nice war. I had 9 fights plus a boss fight. Well, the 9th fight plus a boss fight. So 9 fights, one of them being boss. And I switched at the end of the war to a full Ghost Mastery setup. So I'm not running any points in precision. But I have maxed cruelty and what's it called? Minor cruelty? I don't know what it's called. The other one. But yeah, I have those maxed, so Ghost is doing a lot more damage. And then here, I don't really know how he escaped out of that, but that's fine. And then here, he's almost dead, so I'm going to parry one more time, and then he just dies. So, not the best fight, but it went okay, and I can just use my other Ghost for the other fights. It's completely fine. Medusa, this one's a little scary, and I end up taking combos to the face, I think, twice. But the way that the synergy with Dr. Doom and Diablo works is that you get a guaranteed crit if you have a stagger enabled. And when you're fighting Medusa, you don't have a stagger because she always nullifies. Or sure, she always gets the Fury, so you always are nullifying. So unfortunately, in the Doom versus Medusa matchup, you are not going to be getting guaranteed crits very often. It is possible if you're very quick, but it's not likely. And then here I'm going to throw my L1, and just because I didn't really care in my last Doom fight, I am using Doom for the boss, but you realistically only need about 15% of health, as long as you don't take a dismount in the face in that fight. Here I take the end of the L1, and it's still completely fine. So there I'm going to stagger it, and I think I actually get the crit. No, because I hit more than once, and then I staggered it and then nullify the Fury. Okay. So I had one chance to get it, and I messed it up. That's alright. So this Medusa is almost dead, right? I just throw my L3 here. Honestly, it's probably the best thing to do. Yeah, so what I did there is I threw my special 3 in the middle of my passive stun, so that it would get the attack increase from stun. That's pretty nice. And yeah, the L3 just kills. One hit. One hit after the L3 ends. And that is all of the Doom fights, other than the boss fight. And then we just have this one fight. Overall, I've completed every single path on my first attempt on this map. I actually, on not this path, on the next path, I had to restart twice because I took heavy attacks to the face while trying to parry. But like within 2 or 3 minutes, I had the attempt going that I ended up getting it. So pretty close. It wasted like 12 energy getting there and back. So, or sorry, getting there twice and then restarting twice. So this is a pretty straightforward one, but you can really, really notice the power gain in my phases here. Like, it's very significantly different. And honestly, Rise to Power just doesn't really affect this fight. Because, I don't know, you'd think that it would, but it just doesn't. So there I threw a heavy attack. I was trying to get some buffs. Trying to get him to throw a special attack. He's not going to throw it. There, he eventually throws it. So I'm going to do my phase parry right into my L2. So my first hit gets the attack increase, which is all you can do. You can't get the first and the second. So I'm pretty happy with that, and now I'm just back to trying to gain power, so I'm double phasing. I'd love it if he would throw the L1, but he's just not throwing it, so I'm pushing to L2. Here I'm in my corner, so I bait it. I am also running willpower, as you saw in the Doom fights. I really have just like a really standard ghost suicide setup. So not really much to say. Here he luckily threw that L1, but I don't dex it. My phase was not ready, so I couldn't phase it. So I'm just going to block it and let him get a power increase. And now you'll notice that his charges are actually getting really close. And right here they're 99. And if they hit 100, he gets his overload thing. I don't know what it's called, but maybe it's like nuclear. I don't know. But anyways, the path's over. And we're just going to swap out 6-star Ghost for Mr. Fantastic. So I get the armor break on my heavy attacks. And then I'm going to put all 3 debuffs on Cable. And that's it. That is the... Sorry. For these bosses, I have not fought Warlock yet. And actually, since I've recorded this, I've done another path that I will record my commentary over immediately after this one finishes processing. And then I'll probably stream my last 3 paths. But yeah, I still have not fought Warlock. So I have two paths left to fight Warlock. I'll probably just bring in red mags on one of the paths and do it. People said it was pretty simple, but I did want to wait till I was not doing suicides and maybe not even running power to do it. This fight's really clean. The next time I take this fight, I enter in with around the same amount of health, like 60%, but I take an L3 to the face and I end the fight with like 10% health, but I still won, so it works. And for those surge charges, honestly, always, if you're using Doom, you're just going to cycle L3s. You can even throw your L2 as long as the opponent doesn't have a power gain buff, and you have your aura up. Like right here, I think I get to my L2, and I just don't care, because he's not getting to an L3, and my other attack is just going to drain his power. So I'm not even slightly concerned at this point. And then here I throw an L1, and an L2. I'll eat the recoil. He's gonna die, and he's just gonna die here. So GG's. Heavy attack. Unfortunately, did not crit. If it would have crit at that point, it probably would have done like 50k, 55k, which would have been a nice way to end the fight. But since I didn't have a stagger up, it wasn't guaranteed crit. And then there we go. We finished the path. So that was path B of 7.3.5. As of right now, I've done 27 out of 36 of the paths itemless. This was actually the 26th. So when I was recording this, I was at 26 out of 36. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Very, very straightforward path. You could use anyone for those other 3 fights, and I would strongly recommend using a Mystic for the 3 Cosmics. But you just can use that strategy of parrying and getting your hits in then. With guaranteed crit champs, it works best, obviously. And the, what's the node with your power gain? Polka dot power? I just ignore it. Like, you don't need special attacks. You don't need them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.